Hi, I'm Cass and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a very exciting reading vlog because I have a very special guest who wants my mic, so...
I just want to hold the little guy.
Hey guys!
I feel like I should do some like fun ASMR.
Please don't.
Here's some Daisy ASMR. She tried to bite the mic.
Now that my mic has been eaten by a cat and featured Katie, yes, Katie is in fact here because we are going on our annual Arkansas trip. We have a cabin we're renting and we're gonna just spend some days out in nature.
We're gonna spend some days in the cabin adjacent to nature.
We're gonna spend some days adjacent to nature. We have some very exciting activities planned, from making bracelets, just exploring downtown Eureka Springs again, and doing some ziplining, doing some cozy fiber arts, and y'all know how we feel about some cozy fiber arts.
Stunning.
Indeed.
Yeah.
My TBR for this video is a little bit non-existent for a myriad of reasons. Yes, I'm spending the weekend with Katie, but we both know each other enough to know that there's not going to be a lot of reading done this weekend. And so I have one book that I'm bringing with me, but the rest of the TBR is in fact TBD because I don't know when the next time I'm going to be picking up this vlog is.
Oh my god, you get a Daisy
We get a Daisy feature, and she's like, "Put me down, you bitch." She's like,
stop.
"Put me down." The book, though, Daisy is very invested in, is One Piece Volumes 1, 2, and 3. This is a bind-up omnibus.
It's an on the bus version.
It's on the bus version of One Piece. I recently watched the live action of One Piece, and surprise, surprise, she likes the anime that has a boat in it, and it has pirates, and that's like its whole thing is a grand adventure, and it has a map maker. Everyone be shocked. Are they shocked, do you think?
I am just flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted.
My testers are oh, so funny.
After watching the live action, I knew I needed some more One Piece in my life. However, committing to the anime that's over 1,000 episodes long perhaps is not, in fact, the way to go for me. Yet, okay, never say never. Even though I know like 3 videos ago I said I would never watch One Piece. Here we are. It's fine. So I thought I'd pick up the manga and start this journey. I cannot wait to meet my girl Nami because she is my absolute favorite in the live action. The obsession with One Piece, I have gone down the rabbit hole, okay? I am so excited to one day draw the map to read as many volumes as I possibly can. It's a grand old time. It's my new hyperfixation, and I'm here for it. We've had a cameo from Daisy, from Katie, and I feel like this intro is complete because of that. So, bitch! And now Daisy wants out, so it's a true Katie is here video. So that is it for the intro, because that's the one book that I guarantee will be reading in this video. As for the rest of my plans, no idea. I am currently in the middle of reading The Lies of Locke Lamora, so maybe I'll speak more on that later, but for now, let's just go and enjoy Arkansas. And we are in Arkansas. You actually just saw us go on a little bit of a hike. It started out pretty tranquil, pretty relaxing, very nice. It was just around a lake, but then it was a 5-mile loop. And by the end, we were kind of just like heads down, trudging forward. Granted, the hike was made better by DJ Katie, playing some absolute banger of some songs. Gnarly, Sticker, Ring Ding Dong, all the classics, truly. Putting a different spin on our suffering. We also started listening to the audiobook for Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. I forgot to mention that in the intro. That was the plan. Last year we listened to an audiobook in the car driving down, and it was so much fun. And so far, this has also been a delight. I think we're on chapter 8 or 9. I don't remember the exact spot in the book that we are in. However, it's been really, really fun. I've enjoyed the plot thus far, and I like the self-awareness about fake dating. I've also really been enjoying the call out to other books because they're both literary academics. So shouting out other books has been kind of fun. One of the books was actually Love Light Farms by B.K. Porterson, which Katie and I actually buddy read together. So felt very topical. I'm easily entertained when it comes to fake dating, and this is absolutely no exception. And it has the added bonus of being a fake marriage. It did take a while for the story, I feel like, to actually begin. Our characters just got fake married and we're already a third of the way into the book. So I'm really curious to see how the rest of the book plays out. And we will finish that audiobook probably on the drive back to Missouri, so I'll be able to give you my updates on that. But I do have another update because I've started One Piece. I finished volume 1 of 3 in this particular bind up. Guys, everyone be super shocked that she likes the pirate book. Okay, why did it take me so long to pick up One Piece? It's honestly a crime. And I'm having such a fun time, okay? Luffy as our main character is the most optimistic main character I think I've ever read from. And it's just so funny, some of the scenes where they're in peril, the other side characters are freaking out, what is happening? What are you doing? And he's like, guys, it's fine. We're good. Anyways, I'm gonna be king of the pirates. And I'm just absolutely here for it. And at the very, very end, we had a chapter called Nami. And we finally got to meet my girl. Nami's my favorite character. I love her in the live action, and I already adore her so much in the manga. It's also been really fun to see the differences between the live action and the manga because they cover so much of the manga in just 8 episodes of the live action. It's really been interesting to see how they condense certain plot points for the sake of convenience and compressing it into, shorter episodes. Volume 2, we're gonna meet Buggy the Pirate, which I really enjoyed the scenes in the live action, so I'm excited to see how it goes in the manga. It's similar enough to where a lot of plot points I understand because I've seen the live action and I know what's happening already. Even though I've seen the live action, there are enough differences for me to still be very intrigued with where the story is heading without being completely bored reading something that I already know occurs, if that makes sense. The scene where we met Nami, that was a little different compared to how we met her in the live action. So those little differences are still keeping me entertained, even though it is a story that I've seen before. It's just so fun to read the original source material. And I'm kind of worried because my rule with manga is I'm not allowed to buy manga unless I really, really love it. And guys, I kind of really, really love One Piece. But there's 100 volumes. And that's kind of a lot. But it's fine, okay? We'll burn that bridge when we get there. In the meantime, though, Katie and I are going out on the town. Oh, wait, no, I have one more update for you guys, and it is my cozy fiber art project of the vlog. I don't remember if I discussed this in the intro or not, but we're starting a granny square blanket, and it's these beautiful brown colors. I have a bunch of squares already made. I have 7 already made, and then I have 12 that need one more row added to them, and then they will be completed. And it's been so much fun, guys. Katie and I have been watching a bunch of different movies and TV shows while we've been crocheting and she's been knitting. We've watched Divergent because there was a CD in the cabin that had Divergent, but then the CD case was empty. So we went and hunted it down, still got to watch it. We've watched a few episodes of Young and Hungry. We've watched some episodes of Supernatural because my parabatai, my genius of a parabatai, decided that the best time to watch an episode of Supernatural about a Wendigo is when we're in the middle of nowhere.
Did you want spooky cabin vibes or not?
I did not want the spooky cabin vibes. And I am an absolute wuss. And I don't think that she fully grasps that concept. Or she grasps the concept and does not care, which seems to be the case. Honestly, though, it was worth it. Because we're at an Airbnb, people randomly log into their accounts and, forget to log out. So we wanted to watch some YouTube, specifically some K-pop videos, and we started corrupting this poor random man's algorithm to be nothing but K-pop. So sorry to Spencer out there, but your watch history is now very cultured, if you will. But like I said earlier, we are going out on the town. Katie and I are most excited about the bead store. Went to Crescent Moon Beads last year, and it was the highlight of the trip, quite frankly. We're gonna make some bracelets. I'm probably gonna make like a little purse charm as well. We'll just see what charms and things that I find there. We will also come back to the cabin, do some more cozy fiber arting, which has been a delightful time, as one might expect. We did go ziplining yesterday, and I only bring this up because our sweet tour guide, like ziplining tour guide, whatever, he was asking us, like, what's your fun plans? Like, are you gonna go out bar hopping? Like, what's the situation? And we looked at him and we said the most exciting thing that we were going to do that night was stay in and make some s'mores dip. And we did. And we had a delightful time crocheting and knitting. And it has been so peaceful. Katie and I have been having breakfast on the balcony every morning as well. And the temperature this morning is so nice. Yesterday I did get a little toasty, but we have a cool breeze blowing. And it's just been a very tranquil and rejuvenating time. And a time that, of course, I enjoy spending with my pair of ties. We're gonna go out in the town. I think we said we're gonna stop at a little like haunted cafe, coffee shop situation. So I will be bringing One Piece to hopefully read volume 2, and I'll be coming back with an update for you all because this is basically just me reading One Piece at this point. The adventure begins. I am, as you can tell, back from Arkansas. I've actually been back from Arkansas for quite some time. You guys don't need to know the timeline though, because let's just say this is all one vlog. So it's totally fine. And I have a bunch of little updates for you all. Very exciting things. First off, look at all my granny squares. I have about 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 that still need to be like fully completed, but we're making progress. Every day I look at this stack and all I want to be doing is crocheting, but I can't because I've been doing a lot of work. But that is totally okay because, you have to work to have the fun times, and that is fine. Also, I finished my bracelet. I mean, you kind of saw the charms earlier, but here it is in its completed form. Guys, I'm obsessed. Can you tell that it is One Piece themed? And speaking of One Piece, what a brilliant segue. I ended up finishing volumes 2 and 3. Obviously, I talked about 1 earlier. Why is this manga so fun, and why have I never picked this up? I like cannot believe it. Where has this been my whole life? I know this has been literally being written and drawn my entire life, but like, where has this been my entire life? I think I talked about this earlier about owning the manga because there's like so many and I'm like, I can't do that. How did I end up with volumes 4, 5, and 6 in my possession? So strange. Very unusual. But it's fine, guys. I'm loving this. I don't know like what else I can say other than I'm obsessed with everything going on. I'm obsessed with the characters. I cannot wait to continue meeting characters. I'm in the middle of volume 4, which I know I own the copy, but I started reading it from the library because I was being responsible and then proceeded to buy the book. I don't know how that happened. Again, it just ended up on my doorstep. So strange. Anyways, we are meeting Usopp, who I know from the live action, and he's not like my favorite character. I honestly just need them to hurry up and meet Sanji. Although I've heard the differences between the manga / anime versus the live action Sanji is very different. Like I said earlier, Nami's my favorite. Shocker, right? But it's so interesting to see the differences between like the live action and the manga. So in the live action, they're really pushing that Nami is a map maker, obviously, but that is like her whole, like her main descriptor, I would say, is like she's a map maker. However, in the manga, her main descriptor is that she's a thief. And it's so funny because she is so focused on like her treasure. At one point, they were like, as a town about to get attacked, and they were like gonna defend it, whatever, and then Nami was literally like, oh my god, my treasure on my boat, and just ran off to go like protect her treasure. And I thought that was hysterical. So I love the little differences. I love the creative differences that the live action has made with different characters. We're talking about the Black Cat Pirates right now, and the little like henchmen, one of them was like gender bent to like be a girl in the live action, which honestly, like, I didn't mind. Again, these little freaks, honestly, like, they're such the character designs, they are such little freaks, but I kind of love them, honestly. And I'm just really, really excited to finish up this character arc about the Black Cat Pirates. Does it last the whole, I don't know if it lasts the entire like volumes 4, 5, and 6 or not. I feel like it can't. Maybe volumes 4 and 5. And then I feel like, I'm trying to think of like what their next adventure is. But again, because the live action has 8 episodes and the manga and anime is like dozens and dozens, there's a lot of like differences. So there might be like more filler chapters in between. So I just really want to meet Sanji because I want to see what people are talking about when they say like there's a big difference between the two. So that is my little One Piece update. Honestly, for this vlog, I might just read volume 4 and then call it good because I feel like reading any more than 4 volumes of One Piece in one video, kind of crazy. But honestly, buckle up because I am on this One Piece journey now and you are unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, getting dragged along with me. Okay, you are my unwilling crew on my little pirate ship following after Luffy. It's fantastic. Katie and I also ended up finishing Academic Affair on the drive back. It was actually the most impeccable timing ever. We literally like finished the audiobook right as we were pulling up on her street. It was so satisfying, and I also ran out of Spotify hours like the moment the book ended as well. It was just like it was so perfect. The book itself, though, maybe a little less perfect. I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars. The main issue I had with this book was not actually with the romance. The moments that we got between them I thought were pretty cute, all things considered. However, there was a huge chunk of this book that focused entirely on the dynamic between our main character and her sister, and it brought the mood down so much because I don't remember any of the characters' names, mind you, it's been like almost a month, but I think Sadie? Is it Sadie? It's Sadie and it's is it Florence? I remember the nickname was something weird and then it was like, oh no, it's a nickname, not her actual name. I feel like Florence is not it. I'm just gonna call her Florence. So we have Sadie and Florence. Florence is the sister, and well, at least in my little, in my head, it's the sister. Basically, Sadie and Florence had this huge falling out. Like, Sadie had said some things that were not great things to say to her sister who had cared about her and loved her and helped, like, support her. And they had a little bit of falling out. But then it was like, they were both so dramatic about it. Florence especially, she literally, like, took a sabbatical to like recover basically and to like find herself and find who she was after Sadie's comment. I'm like, girly, like, this is your sister. Like, my sister and I, like, I love her to death, but we've both said some shit about each other that like not great. And we just kind of get over ourselves and like move on. But the fact that it was such a prevalent topic that kept getting brought up just brought the mood down of the book so much, because it wasn't like, oh, they had like a little falling out and they like need to, no, this is like, this is her everything. Like Florence is like her best friend, her person. And then like to go from talking every day, updating her about like her life, to like literally radio silence, not responding to texts, not answering her phone, needing some space, like absolutely insane, quite frankly. Like baffling every time I think about it. It had its moments where it like wasn't just like fun, cute romance. Obviously both our characters are working in academia. They're being overworked. It's like a very volatile job position that they have. So there's a lot of stressing, a lot of them working. But then the balance between like that and their cute moments, that's fine. But then add Florence's dramatics, a lot less fine. So I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars. Katie also kind of felt pretty like average and like middle road about it as well, because again, the good moments were very good. I would be interested to read other things by Jodi McAllister. There were like alludings to future books in this particular series following like other characters, and I don't know if I'm interested necessarily in like those characters, but I still would be curious to read like her other romance novels if she like puts out any more. Speaking of like alluding to future books, we also had like unanswered questions in this book to, I guess, like entice you to read the next books. But I think Katie and I both, instead of being enticed to read future books, were more annoyed by the fact that we didn't get answers to a lot of things in this book. So both of us, I think, have decided that we're just gonna like ask people who read the next book, like, hey, what actually happened about this and this? Like, what's the situation? For we don't actually have to read it. So kind of like average, middle of the road type of book. Had its good moments, but overall, it was definitely dragged down by the unnecessary focus on the side plot. A couple other updates. I briefly mentioned that I had started The Lives of Locke Lamora. I'm actually halfway through. Holy crap, I did not think I was that far in. I'm on page 260 of like 500 and something. I'm soft DNFing this. I'm not, like, it's like the softest possible soft DNF, just because I want to pick up another book. And I only see myself finishing one more book for the rest of the year, which I know is like blasphemy. I've just been so busy that I don't know like how much reading I realistically can get done, but I'm making it my goal to finish the next book I'm going to talk about, and I just don't know. I may finish this book. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, but that's not the priority, because the priority is Oathbringer. I told myself that I was going to read this book before the end of the year. It's like the middle of December. I've got like 2 weeks left to wrap up reading this entire book. So I thought, what better time to read Oathbringer than when I have no time to read? Genius. 2 reasons I'm picking this up. 1, I had said that I wanted to read this by the end of the year. And 2, Katie specifically said, and I quote, I would just drop dead if you read Oathbringer before the end of the year. And I thought that was funny, and I also kind of took it as a challenge. So here it is. I feel like I can do it in a realistic timeline. I do read pretty fast. I read like about 100 pages an hour. This does have 1,300 pages, so that is 13 hours of reading. But if I can read for at least an hour a day, I can wrap this up in 2 weeks. The math is mathing, okay? Plus, I should have the audiobook as well that I can listen to, so hopefully I can listen to like an hour while I work as well. So we have plans. Am I going to start this right now? No, I'm going to start it later. So we'll see if it actually happens. But now that I'm vlogging it, I feel like I have to, because it'd be silly if I introduced this book and then proceeded to not read it all in this vlog. But that is the plan. That is the goal. Oathbringer, it's happening. Hopefully the last book of the year. Well, actually not hopefully. Like, I hope I'm able to read other books this year. Again, I only have 2 weeks left before 2026. Let me just go into a little spiral crisis moment. I cannot believe that it's almost the new year, but also I'm so excited for 2026. So, like, that's fine. But Oathbringer, that is the TBR plan for this video, and maybe the rest of Volume 4 of One Piece as well. I know I keep alluding to like, oh, I'm just so busy, I have no time to do things, but I spent, after I got back from Arkansas, it was like the craziest 3 weeks of my life. I run an online shop, Oakley Pharaoh Studios, and I had launched my How to Train Your Dragon map, and I had a bunch of pre-orders come in October, and I actually had to like create and package them all up for those 3 weeks. I'm not even joking, guys. I would wake up, rip paper, stain paper, and then like go to bed. Like that was literally my life for 3 weeks straight. I did nothing else. I didn't read a single book. Like I didn't draw anything. I literally was ripping paper and staining paper. And that was it. It was insane. Like obviously amazing. I'm so grateful for the orders, and it was literally life-changing. But it was also like a fever dream of 3 weeks. Like I felt like I was in like a little like time vortex of just like ripping paper. And I'm coming off of all of that and all the things that I didn't do for those 3 weeks, commissions I'm behind on, like obviously like videos as well, I'm behind on. I'm like trying to like catch up on everything. Obviously super grateful to be this overwhelmed because it means that I have so much going on, and I'm so grateful for that. So it's just finding that balance of like everything that I'm trying to do will also, you know, read books and put out videos for you guys. That is it for this little update. I will come back to you whenever I start Oathbringer. Who knows when that will be? I'm really hoping tonight I can like sit down for at least an hour where I can come back with an update and give you my initial thoughts. So fingers crossed, let the journey continue with One Piece and begin with Oathbringer.
Where is it? Oh my god! Dude, why am I nervous to like... Why am I nervous?
Yeah, go over there. Look at that.
What if it's not in there? What if
Girl,
actually, no, we decided not to.
why am I like
It's so pretty.
Oh, I love the sprayed edges.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Why am I like almost shaking? It's on the next page. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Congratulations.
this font is all original. Like I designed it for this. It's like Moulin Rouge inspired, so I like took inspiration from like the backdrops of like the Moulin Rouge play to like create this border. And of course the kids have this fantasy road inside.
Oh my gosh. Send the links to the
Amazing. I love it.
No, be honest. What are you actually grabbing?
It's kind of not.
I could do it.
It is a couple days later, and as you just saw from the B-roll, I went book shopping with my friend Manu, and the reason for that trip actually was to pick up Something Wicked, which is the very first traditionally published book with my art in it, which is just mind-blowing still. It's so exciting, not only because it's a traditionally published book, but it's also because it's in Barnes & Noble, and also it's a USA Today bestseller, which is amazing, and I'm so proud of Fallon Ballard for all of her hard work put into this book. But I'm also a little bit happy for me as well, because my art gets to be in this gorgeous, gorgeous edition of Something Wicked, and also be in, a USA Today bestseller, which is, it's just amazing. Like, how did we get here? It's so exciting. I'm so happy to have this on my shelf. I'm gonna have to forward face it for quite some time because I'm obsessed with this cover so much. Adele Kinsel, who is the cover artist, did a phenomenal job. Like, it's breathtaking, truly. Like, the composition, the colors, everything about it is just stunning. But I think my map is also kind of cool as well. So that's just something that I really wanted to share with y'all, and also to like capture the moment of me first seeing it, because I get to draw the maps for these books and then they don't come out for years or months, and sometimes I don't even get to like see them, or I can't keep track of all of the ones that I do. So when something cool like that happens, It's just very exciting. And then another book you actually saw Manu and I haul is Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire. This is actually so interesting. One, I am obsessed with this cover redesign. I've actually been so close to buying multiple like different types of editions of Game of Thrones, but none of them really spoke to me, and none of them I felt like would like look good on my shelves, and I just wasn't a fan of the style. This cover redesign, hands down my favorite. And the spine as well, a little commotion for her. I'm just so excited to have this on my shelf. Also, for those that appreciate a good flop, it's really, really floppy. This cover as well is also just phenomenal. Like the combination of having like the wolf as the mountain with Jon Snow up at the top. Like, oh my gosh, artists are so creative. Like, especially like book cover artists, phenomenal. The only thing I'm not like a huge fan of, but it makes sense from like a marketing standpoint, is the fact that the title, A Song of Ice and Fire, is not on here. It just has the abbreviation of the title in the top left corner, and then it has a Game of Thrones, which makes sense, again, because a lot of people know it from the TV show, and they don't know that, like, A Song of Ice and Fire is the first book. It's cool. It's fine. I wish even, like, they put it on the spine, but again, it makes sense from a marketing perspective. I'm so excited to read this book. Manu and I are actually going to buddy read this. I have honestly, like, hardly any idea about, like, what goes down in Game of Thrones. The fact I've avoided spoilers for this many years, kind of crazy. But it's been so funny because I've made, like, a lot of new friends here in Florida, and when they see, like, my whole aesthetic of, like, liking medieval things, I have, like, swords and morning stars on my wall, and I like to dress up and go places to, like, Renaissance festivals, and they're like, how have you not seen Game of Thrones? How have you not seen Outlander? And I'm like, listen, they're all on my list. I'm just, like, really bad, but I am so excited to get to this in the new year, and also it has such like a perfect winter January cover, so I'm excited to finally dive into a series that everyone tells me I should read. And then speaking of a series that, you know, I should read, guys, progress has been made in Oathbringer. The slimmest of progress. Like, it's so funny reading a book this size because that's 100 pages, guys. And you would have never guessed it, because why does it look like I've read maybe 10? The journey has begun. I'm so excited. Like I said, it's about 100 pages. Oh, guys, it's exactly 100 pages. I'm on chapter 9, The Threads of a Screw. Love it. We're in Shallan chapters right now, which I'm living for. Shallan is my girly, which is so funny because in book 1, she really wasn't my favorite POV to read from. I didn't really feel connected to actually any of the characters other than Kaladin. And then towards the end of book 1, and then book 2 especially, Shallan's my girly, and I love that. But this book starts off with Dalinar chapters, and I just cannot connect to Dalinar. And I know that that's kind of like a bold thing to say, because I know a lot of you, the last time I mentioned not like loving Dalinar POVs, you got on to me in the comments. Rightfully so, quite frankly. That's fine. I am trying so hard to like his chapters. There is just such a disconnect, and I don't know why. So this book's starting off with a bunch of Dalinar chapters. Kind of rough for me to get into it. I was a little scared. I was like, oh my gosh, has it been too long since I read Words of Radiance? I mean, yes, it's been a year. It did take a couple chapters when, you know, things started happening like a little bit. Obviously not much. This is a Brandon Sanderson book that's 1,200 pages, 1,300 pages long. So things are going to take some time to build up. Getting reintroduced to these characters, getting reintroduced back into the world of Roshar has been so fun, quite frankly. And obviously getting Kaladin and Shallan POVs, I'm here for a couple of chapters, which has been fantastic. There's already been like a moment where, I'm not going to say like which character, they were like ordering some people around. They're like, what gives you the authority? And then they just like pull out their weapon and like slam it into the ground. And I'm like, yes, this needs to be like an animated TV show. Like, truly, it would be phenomenal if this was like an animated show, because that moment would have just been so good animated. I'm like, yes, yes. It's also so funny because in between reading Words of Radiance and Oathbringer, I actually drew the map of Roshar, which is actually available in my shop if you want a little copy. And it's so fun to know where all these places are without needing to reference the map, because I remember drawing them and like where they were located. Especially because Dalinar right now, they're talking about like uniting Roshar against like the big bad, you know, the great evil that is threatening the world, and uniting all these nations together. And so there's a lot of like political speak about how to bring the nations together. So it's just cool to like slowly learn more about these different nations that we haven't really heard much about because we haven't really been there and there's no reason to bring them up. And now there finally is reason. So as like a map maker myself, always so fun when, locations get referenced and I'm like, I know where that's at on the map, which doesn't really happen that often. It happens a lot less often than you might expect. Anyways, I'm going to probably read like a big chunk of this before I come back with any more updates. It's kind of hard to give like my thoughts in a non-spoilery way for a third book in a series where each book is over 1,000 pages long. Like, there's only so much that I can give you, but I did want to give you just like initial thoughts, let you know it's happening, people. Like, everybody stay calm, don't freak out. It's finally happening, and I'm just so excited that it is happening. And we got a long, long road ahead of us. But I'm actually flight attending this month, which, hooray for me. And it's going to be so funny because I'm 100% bringing this on any trips I get called for. And if anyone tries anything, dude, I have a brick in my hand. Like, no one's going to try me with this. But that is my initial thoughts on Oathbringer, my little book haul, which is so funny to me because I haven't really bought that many books this year, like all things considered, compared to like previous years. Like, I still bought a lot of books, but nothing like crazy. But I just feel like I haven't really read that much at the end of the year. And yet here we are, still adding to my TBR. Totally fine. But speaking of TBRs, I actually want to set up a winter TBR spread to just wrap out the end of the year. And it's so exciting because this is going to be like one of the last pages that I make in my 2025 journal. And I recently set up my 2026 journal. I actually have the setup already posted on my channel, and that was so fun. And the TBR I have set has like a very specific color palette that like it ended up with, very like blue, very wintry. And I'm kind of living for it. So let's go ahead and set up my winter TBR. I come bearing massive updates for you. Well, massive updates for me, maybe less for you, just because there's only so much I can talk about without spoilers, because we're 3 books in. Do you guys see how far that bookmark is? Are we seeing the same thing? I never thought this day would come, but it has in fact arrived. Very exciting. So I am on part 3. Part 2. Part 3, Defying Truth, Love Truth. And things are happening. I'm on page 581, guys. This has been probably the slowest Stormlight book, which really isn't saying much because all Stormlight books are incredibly slow, but there's just been so much build up. And I know that like the Sandor Lantern and everything that happens typically happens like in the second half of the book, but there really hasn't been any points where I've been like, at any piece of world building or like politics happening. Nothing has really wowed me with this book. I'm enjoying it, do not get me wrong. I love diving into the world of Roshar and just being so fascinated and honestly impressed at Brandon Sanderson's world building abilities. However, when it comes to like the high action like moments that have your jaw on the floor, haven't really come across any as of yet. And now, if this entire book could just follow Shallan instead of focusing so much on Dalinar, I would be probably much more happy. We're getting more of Dalinar's backstory. Each book kind of focuses on like flashbacks of each character. So book 1 was Kaladin, book 2 was Shallan, book 3 was Dalinar. And I was really hoping that as what happened with Shallan, which was we got her flashbacks, we learned more about her, we got to see her grow into the person she's becoming, I started liking her character a lot more. It's not that I don't like Dalinar, I just cannot stand his POVs. Interesting things can be happening in his POVs and I just don't care. And that is kind of a problem because Dalinar kind of is, well, I mean, all of these people obviously are like main characters, but Dalinar is kind of the one who is trying to bring the entire world together, trying to unite the entire world. So he is in contact with all of these political figures, all of these very important people, kind of as a driving factor to, you know, try to unite everybody. And he's kind of in charge. But I just don't care about his POV. Just every time he has a POV, I'm like, here we go again. I don't know why. I think it may have to do with Kaladin and Shallan both have a sort of, they're not like gray characters by any means, but they're not pretending to be noble. Not that Dalinar is pretending to be noble. I don't know how I'm trying to say this. I don't like super goody two-shoes characters. They bore me. And I think that's Dalinar's problem. Not that he doesn't have a very interesting past, which again, we're learning about in Oathbringer. However, even with that, like, you know, past riddled with some atrocities and learning more about his backstory, he still is trying to act as this noble character. Again, he kind of has to. He's trying to unite the world. You know, in politics, you have to kind of play nice. But man, do I wish that it would just remain in Shallan's POV because she's going through some things. I'm trying not to spoil anything. Again, 3 books in, lots of pages, but she kind of plays multiple roles, and it's been really interesting to see how she embodies all of these different roles and how that affects her different relationships in her life, as well as other things cropping up as obstacles that she didn't really expect to have to face. I just really like Shallan's character. She's honestly one of my favorites. Not that Kaladin is not still a favorite, but Shallan, she's my girly, okay? I will take no Shallan slander in this household. She's one of my favorites. I am so excited to continue this, get to hopefully some more action happening. Like I said, it's been a lot of setup, which is good because all of this setup makes the payoff hit so much harder. It's just getting through that. And by getting through it, I mean getting through the stinking Dalinar chapters. But I will persevere, okay? We will deal with Dalinar, we will learn his story, and I will force myself to try to like him a little bit more, okay? That's my goal. Hopefully by next update, I'll be like, actually, Dalinar, he's up there now. He's just not right now. So I will leave you to it, and I will come back when I have another update. guys, how's it going? Happy New Year! Oh my gosh, it's 2026 when you're seeing this, even though I really wanted you guys to see it in 2025, but it's fine. So what if this took me 2 months to film? The video's at, around an hour long. Time travel is so fun. Because even though it is 2026, guess who finished this in the nick of time? That is right, ladies and gentlemen, me. I finished this with an hour till midnight. I am quite pleased with myself because 2 days ago, I was only halfway through this book. So we did a bunch of reading in the last couple days of 2025. Honestly, a great way to end my 2025-ish. Let's talk about it. I ended up giving Oathbringer a 4 stars. A low 4 stars, if we're being honest. I feel like things kind of just spiraled out of the scope of what I enjoy, quite frankly. Things got so big to the point where it was no longer fun. I don't know how else to express my feelings, again, without spoilers. There's like different levels that I feel like the Stormlight Archive has been on, where, we meet our characters, and then they learn about their powers, and then they get good at their powers, and then we're like up here now. And I'm trying to figure out how we got there. As much fun as it was to read a book that was 1,300 pages long, this book did not have to be 1,300 pages. There could have been some slicing and dicing done. And I feel like we kind of lost sight of who our characters were as they continue to go through things. And not in like a good way. Let's talk about Shallan for a moment, because Shallan is my girlie. We love Shallan. For the first half of this book, I was really enjoying her POV. She was struggling with something new, specifically surrounding her identity. And the way that was incorporated into the story, I found very, very creative and very interesting. But as the story progressed, I feel like we lost sight of why she was going through these things and focusing on the wrong things. Again, it's so hard to be so vague about this book. But again, I just didn't love the direction things went. I like how her arc in this book ended, do not get me wrong, but there was a little section, okay, a little as in like 300 pages probably, I just wasn't loving any of the POVs, quite frankly. Dalinar did grow on me, okay, there were so many Dalinar chapters, so many flashbacks, which in the beginning, not a fan, but near the end, when everything kind of came together and you understood why the flashbacks were so important, then they were good. Obviously, Sanderson is known for his slower payoffs where you get a bunch of information that seems completely irrelevant, and then you're like, oh wait, no, it was relevant all along. It just took us, 1,000 pages to get there. And then Kaladin honestly kind of took a back seat in this book. I feel like we hardly got any Kaladin POVs, and then the POVs we did get, I really wasn't a fan of. Again, beginning of the book, enjoyed Kaladin. Middle-ish of the book, End of the book, there's a huge fight scene. I enjoyed that. I was not able to put this book down. It was like page turner after page turner. But in terms of the Sanderlanche that occurred in this book compared to books 1 and 2, kind of underwhelming. I don't know if that's a me problem or just the fact that I expected so much more after slogging through a lot of this book. Definitely my least favorite of the Stormlight books. I'm hoping that I'll enjoy books 4 and 5 a little bit more. For our main characters, the stakes just didn't feel as high. And I don't know if that's because... don't quote me on this, but I feel like they all, at least survive until book 5. So maybe that's also why I'm less, worried about the stakes. I do worry for our side characters though, because again, gut-wrenching some of the things I read. Again, there was one moment in this book in particular that really stuck with me that was like, ow. Just hit my head on my shelf. That was like a moment that felt like, that's my Sanderlanche. Wow. Like, we weren't even near the end of the book when it happened. Like, we were in the later half of the book, but it had me gobsmacked. But then the big battle that I felt like should have been a bigger deal didn't feel like a big deal to me. So once again, could be a me problem entirely, but 4 stars for Oathbringer. Obviously, I will continue the series. I will hopefully be finishing the series in 2026. Fingers crossed. Please don't quote me on that. But we at least did it before the end of the year, which people doubted me. People said it would never happen. And by people, I mean Katie. But then she started believing in me, so all was well again. And I'm also here to wrap up the vlog, so let's go ahead and do that as well. I read Oathbringer. And I found my new love and obsession for One Piece. She's down the rabbit hole. And you want to know what other rabbit hole I'm down right now? Because it's, been 2 months since I started this video. Yona of the Dawn. Katie was onto something, guys. The anime, phenomenal. Okay, I'm really bad about watching anime. I'll watch a few episodes and then stop. But one of my New Year's resolutions for 2026 was to watch more anime because I have super serious New Year's resolutions, okay? And watching anime is super duper serious. So, started watching Yona of the Dawn. Episode 1 got me, guys. Episode 1. Like 5 minutes into episode 1 and I was like, "Wait. Why wasn't the manga this good?" The manga, one of my least favorite mangas I think I've read. Granted, it was volume 1. But still, the anime? The voice actors? I need me a hawk because my goodness. Stunning. No notes. 10 out of 10. Anyway, so if you haven't already, watch the One Piece live action, watch Yona of the Dawn, leave me more anime recs as well. Like I said, I'm trying to achieve a very, very important New Year's resolution. Also, just to name my list, I'm in the middle of the Apothecary Diaries still. Frieren, you don't even have to mention, guys. Season 2's coming out this year. I'm so excited. And then I'm also going to watch Snow White with Red Hair. So those are some that I already plan on watching, but leave me some other recs. That is my wrap up. That was the video. I really hope you enjoyed. Even though this vlog did take me 2 months, I hope you still enjoyed and found it at least semi-cohesive. If not, that sucks. But you know what? New year, same old me. All is well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my next one. Toodles! Give the mic to the audience. What is up?
What's up?
Cool. Anyways, the book that I am bringing with me is actually a omnibus or omnibus?
Omnibus.
Omnibus?
It's an omnibus volume.
Omnibus?
Omnibus.
Omnibus. Like on the bus, but omnibus.
Omnibus.
Omnibus. Omnibus?
Wait, guys, no, I don't know. We said it too many times.
Ominous?
It's an ominous volume.
It's very ominous.
Shit. Copy, they be trying to copy. Shit. Shit. No. That, we'll figure it out.
For a boring dumb bitch.
Fucking gnarly.
Gnarly.
Don't talk to me.
Gnarly. That's that's the thumbnail photo. Dude, there's so many disco balls.
Gnarly, no.
Making beats for a boring dumb bitch. Gnarly.
Gnarly.
Don't talk